Hello and welcome to today's episode of Tax Matters. My name is Olumuyiwa Matuluko. How is business going? The first quarter of the year 2014 is gone. We thank God for keeping us alive and for keeping our businesses going so far. We pray that at the end of the year we'll be able to look back and thank God for a very good year in our personal lives and in our businesses. Today we're going to continue talking tax, because that is what this program is all about. Today we're going to be looking at the workings of the administration of taxes for micro and small taxpayers. And so today we have in the house the director in charge of the Micro and Small Taxpayers Department at the Federal Inland Revenue Service, in the person of Mr. Umaru Magam. Mr. Magam, you are welcome to Tax Matters.
Thank you, sir.
When you say micro and small taxpayers, in FRS's balance, what does that mean? Who are they?
Well, in FRS, if we say micro and small taxpayers, we mean those taxpayers within a threshold. In FRS, we have segregated our taxpayers into at least 3 groups based on threshold. The other one is based on sectoral group, the petroleum, that is separate. So we have the large taxpayers department, medium taxpayers department, and micro and small taxpayers department. The micro and small taxpayers department caters or administers those taxpayers within the range of 200 million turnover and below.
Okay, 0 to 200 million.
0 to 200 million. That's why the name micro and small.
Okay, micro and small.
Yes.
You know that in those old days, before the reform started in 2004, you had people going to pay VAT here, withholding tax there, whatever, you know. Now you had the integrated tax administration system coming up, and you now had integrated tax offices, whereby you have a one-stop shop.
Yes.
Now these micro and small taxpayers offices that you have, are they one-stop shops?
Yes, they are one-stop shop. Why? Because all these offices administer the different taxes, and every taxpayer can go to any one of the offices and transact his business or her business on all the tax types in one office.
VAT, company income tax,
Everything.
capital gains tax.
Everything except personal income tax for individuals and employees in employment. In FCT and armed forces and diplomats outside FCT. In FCT, for administrative convenience, a department was set up to administer the personal income tax of individuals and those in employments.
Okay, because as at the moment, it is the FRS that is the tax authority for the federal government.
Yes.
You administer taxes in the FCT,
Yes.
being the federal capital.
Yes.
Okay, so you have micro and small taxpayers office, and you have individual and enterprises income tax department,
Yes.
which also has offices in FCT.
Yes.
Okay.
But to make it still 1 point something that a taxpayer can go and transact his business in one place, all of them are in the same roof.
Oh,
Yes,
that's fantastic.
yes. If you go to Utako MSTO and also Utako I&E, that is individual and different, you find them in the same roof.
Same building.
Only that having different tax controllers. If you go to Maitama, you will see MSTO and also I&E in the same roof. If you go to Gerki, the same thing, to make sure that that one integrated is maintained.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you are really taking care of the convenience of the taxpayer.
Yes.
Good. Now you are at top of this micro and small taxpayers department. Yes. You have micro and small taxpayers offices, yes, scattered all over the country. How many of them are under you?
We have about 85 micro and small taxpayers nationwide. We have also 10 regional offices administering these 85 offices. Each region with certain number of offices to administer for convenience, to bring the administration up very close to, So we have 10 regional offices, 85 MSTOs. At the same band, we have about 24 stamp duty offices, also under the jurisdiction of MSTD. Yes.
Also oversee the stamp
Yes, nationwide.
Okay. Yes. Okay, that's interesting. Now let's go back to the earlier point you made about being that within the Federal Capital Territory, you have individual and enterprises income tax offices, yes, and you have the micro and small taxpayers offices. Yes. Now, we are aware that those who run businesses under the platform of enterprise, yes, one-man business, Okonko Ventures, yes, Umaru and Sons, they are also charged to tax under the Personal Income Tax Act. Yes. So, as a business owner in Abuja, so for example, I'm supposed to file VAT returns, whether I'm limited liability or enterprise. Yes. How do I know where to go between your own office and the IEI office?
Yes. One, we do a lot of sensitizations, a lot of awareness to make sure that every taxpayer knows under which tax jurisdiction he or she falls. As for VAT, it doesn't matter whether you are individual or enterprises or limited. You will pay your tax, to Federal Revenue Service, whether in Abuja or outside Abuja. Here in FCT, based on geographical jurisdiction, through sensitization and awareness, most of the taxpayers know. If you are in Otako, we are able to sensitize the people to inform them within social and social jurisdiction. This is where you will go and transact your tax business. If you are in Maitama, we are able to inform the citizens, if you are within these regions, areas, this is where you will go and file your tax returns or transact your tax business. Yeah. So this is how we are able to...
VAT, since you are in the same building, it will file VAT returns to the MSTO. Yes. And then file his personal tax to the IIT in the same building. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Yes. Now let's go back a little back to what you said earlier about the threshold of companies under your purview between 0 naira, let's say 1 naira to 200 million. Now, for all intents and purposes, these are small-scale businesses, and we know for a fact that most of them don't employ the services of resident qualified accountants, resident lawyers, for reasons of keeping cost of doing business low. As a result, most of them have poorly kept records. What measures has the FRS put in place to help these small business holders to become tax compliant, beginning from the way they keep their records?
Yes, there are many programs in place, both by Federal Revenue Service and other agencies of government. Why? Because this informal sector worldwide is assumed to constitute the major employer of labor.
That is true.
So because of that, a lot of things are being put in place to assist them achieve their goals. One of which, through sensitizations, through other government agencies like SMEDEN. SMEDEN is in charge of bringing this informal sector together, sensitize them, also assist them on one, how to assess fund to run their businesses, how to be able to keep simple records in order to make sure they know what they are doing, at the end of which they will be able to know whether they are on top of it or they are losing. Vis-a-vis also FRS. FRS, we are now sensitizing the informal sector to the extent that FRS is thinking of coming off with a regime of presumptive tax, which will bring the informal sector to the tax net, one through which there will be guidance. Those taxpayers within certain sector or within certain level, they will be able to pay certain things, meager, flat rate. So also the requirement of piling will be very minimal. We can assist you maybe to employ one accountant who will be able to file maybe one return in a certain period as agreed.
Nothing bogus, nothing voluminous.
To make life simple for the informal sector.
We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we're going to be looking at the taxes that the MSTD, or let's say the MSTOs in the different areas of the country collect from the taxpayers under their jurisdiction. Don't go away.
Every day, my people they for work. Some they do office work. Some get it them own business. So all of them want good road, constant power for better life. Whether now office work, oh yeah, pay your tax. Whether now your own business, oh pay your tax. If you want a better life, oh pay your tax. Now your civic responsibility, pay your tax. Better soup, now money cook oh yes. Nothing goes for nothing, my brother. If you want potable water, security and hospital for make life jolly.
That's right. Good roads, good hospitals, portable water, adequate security all come from taxpayers' money. Play your part in making Nigeria great. Everybody, small scale, big companies, entrepreneurs, do the right thing. Pay your tax. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS.
Good to have you back. The program is still Tax Matters, and Mr. Umaru Magam, Director, Micro and Small Taxpayers Department at the FIRS, is still with us in the studio. Now, Mr. Magam, what kind of taxes do you collect from taxpayers under your purview?
Well, the departments, like most of all the departments except petroleum, we collected all the tax types being administered by FIRS, except two, petroleum and also personal income tax. These taxes are company income tax, we collect it under CETA. We also collect VAT under the Value Added Tax Act. We also collect capital gain tax. As I told you earlier, we collect the stamp duties. Withholding tax, even though withholding tax is not tax type per se, but it's just an arrangement. So we collect all the tax types, the different tax types being administered by FIRS under one roof, as appears in the FIRS Act first schedule. All the taxes, yes.
Now, we want you to go a little practical. Okay. Take us through the steps that are necessary for a business owner to become tax compliant. If he's not already tax compliant, what is the first step? What does he do first?
Well, the first step for a potential taxpayer is to find out which is the nearest tax office to him or her. If he doesn't know that, wherever he finds an FRS office, let him go there. He will be attended to. As regards to, if he wants now be registered for tax purposes, we have a section in each one of our offices, taxpayer service section. There, they will inform you what you need to bring to enable you get registered. They will also give you the relevant forms. These are already FRS forms for potential taxpayers newly to be registered. They will give you these forms. In these forms, you will see what document and what document you will attach after filling the form. If you don't know, they will be able to assist to do it for you and also to give you the necessary advice what next to do. Yes, yes.
So any office that we go to will be able to provide those information.
Yes. For example, you are a resident of Lokoja. You happen to come to Abuja. So you can ask, where is FRS office? You can go there. You will be attended to. If you come along with the relevant document, you will be registered. These documents, they will be transferred to Lokoja. That office will tell you, okay, when next you go back to Lokoja, go to our Lokoja office, you will meet this document there. You will be registered, you will be given TIN number. All these TIN numbers and other documents, they will be now being transferred to the office where you belong to. Yes. We don't tell taxpayer, no, you are supposed to be registered in Lokoja or Kaduna. You should not come here. Wherever you go, you will be attended to, and such as the relevant documents will be now transferred to the relevant office, and they will be duly informed.
Good. Good. That's very convenient. Yeah. That's very convenient. That's very okay for the taxpayer who is already paying. We get calls from time to time about tax clearance certificate. It seems to be very popular now. You go to the embassy, you go and seek for contracts in the ministry or department or agency of government, in all kinds of places. At what point do I qualify for a tax clearance certificate?
Tax clearance certificate, a taxpayer can be qualified for tax clearance certificate after payment of all taxes. If you have outstanding tax to be paid, you are not qualified. But at the moment you don't have any tax outstanding, you are qualified. And once you put your application, it is your entitlement to get the tax clearance certificate within 2 weeks. But nowadays, because of the reforms within FRS, how efficient we are, we don't allow a taxpayer to put application, having paid his taxes, and not getting the tax clearance within 72 hours. This is a KPI we gave ourselves. Within 3 days, you get it once there is no issue.
Or you bend over backwards to beat that deadline.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Good. But we also get calls from new business owners of newly registered businesses. They still ask them for TCC.
Yes.
So, because you said I must have paid all my taxes. What if I am not due to pay taxes?
Those companies not yet commencing business for administrative purposes, and you, to prove that you are a good citizen, you have paid tax. Yeah. So there is what we call pre-operational levy. Small levy that you will pay.
How much is it?
Just token amount.
How much is it?
20,000. Okay. You know, still token. Even the
But I have not commenced business. I have not earned income.
Yes. Why? Because at least you are in the intention, the purpose for the tax clearance may be for economic purposes. The other party will appreciate to say that yes, you are worth to be dealt with.
Okay.
Yes, to show that, yes. Because nobody would like to partner with somebody who is...
No business owners
Pay
pre-operation levy and you give them a tax clearance certificate.
Yes.
But at what point do I become liable to pay company's income tax?
At the point of having commenced business.
Okay.
Once you commence business, you are liable to pay tax.
Yeah.
If you are liable.
Okay.
Why? Because you can commence business, you didn't make a profit, nobody will ask you to pay.
You won't ask for tax
No.
We also have a different category, another category of business owners. Those who call us to say that they registered their companies in 2003 or 2000 or 2006. I have not done any business and I went to the tax office. They said that I should go and pay so amount. They tell us different figures. We always tell them about pre-operation levy. But then sometimes they tell us that they ask them for higher amounts of money. What is the official position for a company that was registered and has not been doing business?
Well, the official position as per the law, once you register a company, you are supposed to inform the taxpayer within a certain period. One, within 6 months or within 18 months, whichever. Why? Because, that is what the law stipulates, regardless of whether you have commenced business or not. As I said earlier, you are not paying tax when you are not making anything or you didn't make profit. But the law stipulates after certain period, you must bring yourself to the tax net and register. And keep on hoping, better will come. No matter how long, nobody will ask you to pay tax where you are not supposed to pay tax.
Am I supposed to be coming to the office regularly or something? Because they say, when they go now, they now say, you have not come for about 5 years. This is the penalty or these are the penalties.
The truth is, one, you are supposed to file what we call return, which, well, it's return, but it's not actual return per se, It is what we call, some people, we call it statement of affairs.
Okay.
It must not be more than 1 page, 2 page, 3 page. I have not done anything this.
Okay.
Yes, file it.
Yes.
That is statement of affairs. Once you do that, nobody will ask you for any penalty or anything. Yes. It is in respect of VAT. People are complaining that, okay, we have not commenced business and the law stipulates that every month we must file a return, whether nil or, something like that. This is where some taxpayers are feeling they are being made to do something more than what, Yes, so, but the other one, you are not, once you didn't commence business, you just file statement of affairs every year. That's all. Nobody will ask you or nobody will penalize you for anything.
Is there a limit? Do I do that every year?
You can continue.
Except
if the
taxman
if the taxman or tax authority has to the contrary information, let him. Yes.
Now let's go the way of advice. What will be your advice to the business owner? I'm choosing my words. I didn't say taxpayer. To the business owner who will know, will graduate into a taxpayer, as to what records to keep, the kind of staff to employ, the kind of outside help or resources to seek, how to file, when to file.
Yes. In order to assist such group of taxpayers, in FRS, we have a department whose functions is specifically to cater for the needs of taxpayers. That department is called Taxpayer Service Department. One of their functions is to come up with ways of assisting such informal people, how to keep records, how to minimize costs which they are fearing, and so on. So in FRS now, we have sample of simple book of accounts records that such taxpayers should keep simple. We have come up with samples of, which we normally, when we go to sensitization or taxpayer education, we normally distribute to them. Also, such group of taxpayers, we do advise them, if they can afford, to be keeping their records in electronic form. So whatever says they do, they quickly capture it. Whatever they do, so nothing will escape them quickly. At the same time, also we do advise them to incur certain expenditure at times is worth